Hello everyone, welcome back to Movie Recap Factory. Today, we will recap an action thriller named Those Who Wish Me Dead from 2021. So the movie begins with a crew of smoke jumpers plunging into the scene of a raging woods fire, where everyone is in a panic situation. The crew works great in order to save lives, but due to an inaccurate wind reading, the group is trapped as the flames spread uncontrollably, claiming numerous lives. Suddenly, Team Chief Hannah Faber wakens from this, as it becomes to be a nightmare, but one she already lived through. After that, in Fort Lauderdale, hitman brothers Jack and Patrick Blackwell come to the home of a district attorney, giving the reason for being there to check the fuel. They get in and out, and in this time they manage to kill a man in his circle of relatives and destroy their house by placing a bomb. After that, they leave to follow their next plans. Then they showed a father named Owen and a son named Connor having a conversation regarding the relationships. While talking, they hear the news of the blast in the house. Owen Casserly comes to know that his boss is murdered. Owen gets his son Connor and heads out in a car, telling Connor that they are going to school. However, Connor realizes something is incorrect as Owen doesn't take him to high school. He asks this to Owen, and Owen replies and insists that he did the right thing regardless of looking scared, which makes him look suspicious. Later, Hannah and her colleagues are at a ceremony for new smoke jumpers, having some fun talk in conjunction with Sheriff Ethan Sawyer. After the ceremony, the group gathers and starts drinking. Suddenly, they hear Hannah is going to perform a stunt in the parachute. The group chases but is unable to stop her as she opens the parachute after gaining suitable speed and floats away till she goes down a slight hill. Ethan arrives at the scene and arrests Hannah for creating a scene. He drives her way enough till he can allow her to pass, and he thinks that she is doing stunts like that for a more private reason. The scene shifts to the Hitman brothers. They come to Owen's vicinity to kill him and his son. They started looking but couldn't find anyone. This made them assume that they'd run away. Meanwhile, Owen and Connor hold shifting. Owen tells his son about his paintings and, in addition, tells him that his boss has been murdered and their lives are also in threat. He also offers him a letter and says sorry. Another day, once they had been on their way, Blackwells corner them and shoot their vehicle off the street. They crash down a hill, and Owen gives Connor his written statements earlier, then telling him to cover and reminding him he loves him. This all makes Connor cry, and he hides because the Blackwells pass down the hill. Owen restarts his car's engine to divert Blackwell's attention, and they finish him off. Connor watches it all but is unable to do anything, so he runs away. After this incident, a woman stops nearby, assuming it to be an accident, but Jack shoots her in the head and moves her vehicle off the road, and then he and Patrick leave the place. On their way, they hear the news that there are two bodies located at the scene, and they were of Owen and the lady. Connor was missing, which makes Blackwells realize that Connor is still alive. Meanwhile, Hannah goes to a cabin in the forest, and there she gets flashbacks of forest fires, where lots of casualties occurred. This all makes her sad. Later, lightning appears. She jumps off the cabin in order to get safe. Lightning hits and destroys his cabin. Due to that jump, she gets injured and unconscious. Later, she wakes up, again having some flashbacks from the past. After she finds Connor wandering alone in the woods, he starts running. After seeing her, she stops him. At the start, he acts rude and tries to fight her off. She told him that the nearest town is just too far away for him to move off on his own, so he sticks with her for help, and she further tells him that there's a radio back in the tower. Connor, in reply, demands to contact news. She takes him to his cabin, but there she can find nothing that can help. The Blackwells document to their boss, Arthur Phillip. He is aware that Connor is still alive and knows that this indicates he can nonetheless carry the evidence in opposition to them to the clicking. So he orders Jack and Patrick to find the boy and finish him. To trap him, Jack takes numerous road flares and tosses them into the woods to start a fire. Ethan spots the smoke from the distance as it starts to unfold. The Blackwells make it to Ethan Sawyer's home and pose as FBI marketers. Ethan's wife, Allison, becomes aware that something is wrong and tries to maintain them out, but they barge in and attack her. After seeing her on the floor, they realize she is pregnant. Patrick threatens her, first by taking her pregnancy on the way, then with a hot metal rod, and continue doing so until she tells them about Connor. However, she lies and says that Ethan has Connor, so she calls him and pretends to invite him. But Patrick knows that she tried to apply a code phrase with Ethan and attempts to shoot. She grabs a spray can and uses the hearth inside the fire as a flamethrower to get the Blackwells far from her. She escapes the house with a rifle. Ethan later unearths the brothers at his residence and exchanges fire with them. However, the Blackwells overpower him and take him captive. Hannah makes Connor feel comfortable. He starts trusting her and gives her the letter that his father has given to him. After reading that, she decides to leave the cabin as nothing was there because of the lightning hit. She courses Connor through the sector at nighttime while lightning starts to strike once more. They prevent to rest and light a campfire, where Hannah talks approximately the incident to him. That last year there was a forest fire. She has seen 3 boys dying because of that fire. Connor additionally mentions how he watched his mother die from most cancers, so he understands how she feels about looking at humans die. They quickly come across the fire and have to take a distinct direction for protection. They make their way lower, back to the tower. The Blackwells try and force Ethan to help them track Connor. However, he disobeys and fights them, but couldn't do anything. They threaten him that they will go to burn his wife if he does anything suspicious again. After that, they take him at gunpoint in the path of the tower, where Hannah spots them coming. She asks Connor if they are the men who murdered his father. He replies with yes. They ship Ethan as much as the tower to locate Connor. He goes inside and finds Hannah and Connor hidden. When Patrick spots Ethan talking, they open fire to the tower. Ethan gets hit by bullets, but he enables Hannah and Connor to get out effectively. Jack discovers Allison once more, but this time she was there with a rifle. They shoot at each other, but Allison succeeds in hitting Jack. However, he remains alive after that shot, and she asks him about his husband. And Jack replies to her by giving his location, but he again tries to shoot her and fails in doing so. Allison kills him and goes to the tower in order to look for Ethan. She finds him in the cabin. She wanted to take him out, but he was badly injured and couldn't move, so he tells her to leave. The fireplace is now raging out of manage, and he leaves Hannah and Connor with few getaway options. Hannah orders Connor to leave by telling him the way to get out, but he refuses because he doesn't want to leave her behind. But she manages to convince him and tells him to go 100 yards left to the creek and lay down. Connor leaves from there. After some time, when Hannah was alone, Patrick arrives with a gun. Hannah sees him coming and tries to fight with him. Patrick tries to convince her by telling her that you don't even know that kid, but she refuses to listen. Suddenly, Connor appears from the back. He hits Patrick and runs away. Patrick starts beating Hannah. He asks Connor to come out. He comes out so that Patrick will not hurt Hannah. However, as Patrick procedures the boy, Hannah attacks him and wounds him critically enough to convey him down. Patrick asks her to kill him, but she refuses and leaves him to burn to demise because the flames were developing wilder. At the same time, as she and Connor run down a hill and into the river to avoid being eaten up by the fire, she teaches him how to stay underwater. In the morning, the hearth has long gone out, leaving maximum of the wooded area burnt badly. Hannah, Connor, and Allison survive the forest fire, but Ethan dies from his wounds, which makes Allison sad. News crews and doctors arrive at the scene. Connor tells Hannah that he has nowhere to head, but she guarantees to assist him to figure it out. She takes him to the crew, in which he will expose Arthur, and the smoke jumpers do what they could to recover the wooded area. This was all for the video. Make sure to subscribe and give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Do give your thoughts in the comments section, and stay tuned for more movie recaps.